So me and my wife just watched a movie called 40 Acres from 2024, and I want to share my thoughts. 40 Acres is a film starring Danielle Deadwyler, and I really, really enjoyed it. It is about a family surviving in a dystopian future where food is in short supply, but they have a successful farm, and chaos ensues once strangers enter their midst. That's kind of as much as I want to say without spoiling the movie. I don't assume that a lot of people have seen it because I don't think it had a really, really wide release. It's something that my best friend, he had an uncle who went see it and he came out of it raving about it. That led my best friend to acquiring it and let me take a look at it. I took a look at it with my wife. He said, man, based on his recommendation, he said, man, I think that both of y'all would really, really enjoy it. And I will say that we really did enjoy it, but the only real issue that stands out quite a bit in the movie to me is the pace. I think that it starts pretty slow in that first act, and it does a lot of world building. It's not like it's just existing to exist and wasting a lot of time that we see on screen, but it does take a really slow approach to building that world out and giving you examples of things that have happened in the world and what exactly type of world these characters exist in. Now, kudos to them for opening it with a bang, because the opening scene is an action scene that is executed with scary precision to the point where you really get invested with these characters and you really want to know what leads people to live like this, from children to adults. Why is all of this behavior acceptable? And then they slowly go about laying everything out for you. That is my only problem with the film, is that they slowly went about showing you this is the world that exists. These are the stakes. This is why these kids do these things. This is why this parent is so hard on her family, etc., etc. The really intense stuff, the really action-packed stuff takes a while to come back around, but it is set up quite well. And it's set up in a way where you might find yourself on the side of certain characters and understanding why certain characters are doing what they're doing. And then you get to the actual reveal of what's really going on. And then you revert back to saying, okay, this character was actually right the whole time. And this character really knew what they were talking about. And they are justified in living the way that they live based on the circumstances. So that last act of the film, the third act, is incredible. It's really, really intense. The action and stunt work is done quite well. All the action that takes place is done in a way that's incredibly believable, because the bruises and the scars and the gunshots and the knife wounds and everything that happens to the characters are something that stays with them. That's something that's different from most action films. Most action films make you feel as though characters can survive anything. And this one does not do that. It makes you feel the weight of every stab wound. It makes you feel the weight of every punch and every gunshot. Like, you can see characters change and it stays with them as the movie progresses. So it's really cool to see everything unfold the way it unfolded. And that third act was, in my opinion, a perfect crescendo. And it left you in a place where, like, hey, I'm really, really satisfied with the way this story was told. And I actually wouldn't mind seeing more from this world, just maybe from a different perspective, a different family surviving, or a different angle to kind of paint things differently, because the film kind of hints at the villains of the film having a lot in common with the heroes or the protagonists of the film. And I get it. I really did get it in the moment, but I don't think that it was like the story was told with enough of the villain involvement for you to really feel that. But I think if you went back and did this project with more villain involvement, or maybe you switch the angles of everything and show how they got to where they got to, maybe they arrived at that same place in the same way as our protagonists arrived at where they arrived. So it would be really cool to see something like that from that world, because although I don't know how much money it made, how much box office it made, or anything like that, I think just from a storytelling perspective, this one was really, really cool. I also like the chapters in which they tell the stories, akin to that Tarantino style of a film that I just recently saw, which is Weapons. Not that that movie is brand new, but I was a chicken and I was scared to watch it. So I actually watched it later after it released on video and, at home, so I can control the environment. But that's the only thing it has in common. The fact that you get chapters. I like the chapter reveals about this is this person. This is this person's story. this is where this person is. That was cool about 40 Acres. It was also very cool about Weapons. I like when they do that. And so I think 40 Acres was really, really good. It gets a 6.4 on my scales, which is a C film. Not necessarily a top tier cinema, but something really, really cool, something really, really different that you could sink your teeth into if you have access to it on one of your streaming platforms. And that's all I have for this one, y'all. If y'all have any questions about it or any comments to make on it in the comment section, I'd love to entertain them. Enjoy yourself, guard your heart, and go watch something good.